Welcome everyone to 2024, and you guys know what that means. It means another batch of LEGO Star Wars sets are set to retire at the end of 2024. So that's what I want to go ahead and cover in this video. There are actually about 30 of them on the retirement list for this year. And as always, this list can change throughout the year. This is January 1st, but Brick Fanatics and these other websites are usually pretty much spot on. But of course, I will have further videos throughout the year, kind of giving you guys updates if anything changes and kind of more thoughts on the sets throughout the year. So let's go ahead and get into it. This will be a quicker video, just giving you guys kind of the actual kind of outline. So if any of these sets are on your wish list, I would highly recommend plan accordingly. If you guys have to ask for for a birthday gift, or plan for May 4th, or mow a couple extra lawns, like this is kind of that video. Plan accordingly. So starting off, we have 40615, the Tusken Raider brickheads. Kind of obvious, only 2 years on the 2-year shelf life. Pretty much to be expected. Next up, we finally have this thing going away. 75257, the Millennium Falcon from the Rise of Skywalker wave. This thing has been out since October of 2019 and is making it all the way through 2024. Next up, probably the biggest one of the video. This was kind of controversial for last year, but it is actually the MBS Mos Eisley Cantina. So, of course, it's on the list right now. It was on the list for 2023 also. So, again, this one, take it with a grain of salt. This one probably might change by the end of the year, but I would not doubt it might actually end up retiring at the end of this year, and that might lead to a Master Builder Series set, another one coming in 2025. So, Mos Eisley Cantina. Definitely look, if you're waiting any longer than this year, you're really kind of cutting down to the wire there. I would definitely recommend picking up the Cantina ASAP. So next up, we have 75304, the Darth Vader helmet. Pretty obvious there. It's a couple years on the shelf. Next up, we have a couple more UCS sets. We have the 75308, the UCS buildable R2D2. This one, quite frankly, I feel like some people maybe forgot about it, and they're coming out with a $100 one in the spring next year. So, or I guess this year. It's going to be weird. 2024 is this year now. I don't have to keep on saying next year. So yeah, 2024 is this year. They're coming out with a smaller buildable R2D2, and it looks like at the end of the year, they're taking rid of the bigger one. Next up, another big one here. Plan accordingly. We have the 75313, the UCS AT-AT. This is up to $850 after that price hike. It came out in November of 2021, and it looks like it's set to retire at the end of 2024. But as always, stay tuned to the channel to hear future updates on that. Next up, 75333, the Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. Same thing, really nice set, but just kind of the realistic kind of shelf life for it. 75341, the UCS Luke Skywalker's land speeder. This one, May 4th, 2022 UCS set. And it's making it, roughly about 2.5 years, which is, to be expected, for kind of a mediocre UCS set. I do like the Luke's land speeder. I think it's needed. I'm happy I have one, but, I feel like the mass public, we're kind of land speedered out. But next up, we have the 75344, the Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter. Same thing, just 2 years on the shelf. 75345, the 501st Specialist Clone Troopers Battle Pack. Same thing, 2 years on the shelf. That's pretty much what the battle packs are doing these days. 75346, the Pirate Snub Fighter, kind of a mediocre set. Get it out of there. Clear the shelf up. Next up, 75347, the TIE Bomber. This one's kind of surprising that it's actually only lasting 2 years. For it being 20 years since the last one, I would have maybe thought maybe they'd go an extra year or two with it. With the TIE Bomber, but I guess not. Next up, 75348, the Mandalorian Fang Fighter and TIE Interceptor. Same thing. It's kind of weird they're clearing off these TIE Fighters so quick, I feel. I guess this 2-pack is correlated to Mando 3, so maybe that has something to do with it. In their eyes, a TIE Interceptor marketed off of Mando 3 might maybe not sell as well, but it is a TIE Interceptor. But next up, we have a couple helmets here. 75350, the Commander Cody helmet, and then also the 75351, the Bausch Leia helmet. Surprisingly, there's not the Captain Rex helmet on here. So, basically my thoughts on that is, LEGO must be aware that, of course, out of those three, Rex is the most relevant, and going forward, for like Bad Batch Season 3, or maybe even Tales of the Jedi, stuff like that, Rex will be more relevant in media, for the next year or two, so to have him on shelves for an extra little bit, probably is, in LEGO's best interest. Next up, we have the double, combo here of 75352 and 53, both of the dioramas from this year, the Emperor's Throne Room and the Speeder Chase diorama. Same thing, about a year and a half on the shelf, not too bad for those. Next up, here's one that I'm actually I'm surprised this is leaving so quick, man. Can we believe, actually, 75354 Coruscant Guard gunship. That thing's only going to be on the shelves for like a year and 5 months. That is pretty crazy, but look, for me, I don't really care. I don't like the set, so quite frankly, I would rather get it off the shelf ASAP. I don't want to look at it anymore, but that is a pretty short shelf life nonetheless. Next up, 75356, the Executor Super Star Destroyer. This one is also pretty interesting because it seems like LEGO is doing more and more midi scale. So it looks like they're actually taking away one of them relatively quick, about a year and 7 months. Not too bad on the shelf life, but this is definitely one I recommend picking up soon because if they do continue the midi scale for the next couple of years, the Star Destroyer will definitely be pretty sought after. Next up, we have 75357, the Ghost and Phantom 2, another surprising one. Only a year and 5 months on the shelf, and technically not even really on the shelf because it's only an Amazon exclusive, and I guess technically at LEGO stores. But this one's kind of disturbing, I guess, a little bit, in a sense, because unlike with the Playscale Razor Crest that was Amazon exclusive, that was on, that was not retired. That was, being sold for years and years, where it was able to go through multiple Black Fridays, multiple Amazon Prime days, multiple May 4ths, and you really have a lot of deep, 30-40% offs. But this being retired so soon, I mean, it's pretty much like next year or this year or nothing. Like, if it's not on sale for May 4th, if it's not on sale for Black Friday or Prime Day, I feel like a lot of people probably have to bite that full retail price on that, which, it's not necessarily a bad price, but I mean, it is $160. I mean, it's a pretty hefty price. And, I'm always a big advocate, try to get something off on it, but definitely keep your eyes peeled on that. If you see it for 20-30% off, I mean, that is probably going to be your best bet because it's retiring so quick. Next up, 75358, to New Jedi Temple. That's pretty obvious. Next up, another kind of surprising one, but I feel like, again, they were kind of late to the game already. 75359, the 332nd Battle Pack. They were already 3 years too late, in my opinion. I feel like maybe they realized they missed the mark and they're kind of just gonna, brush it under the rug and kind of get it out of here ASAP. Next up, 75360, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter. Another one we didn't even really need to begin with, so, short shelf life doesn't really matter. Next up, 75361, the Mandalorian Season 3 Spider Tank. Same thing, Mando 3's done. No need to keep it on the shelves for too much longer. We also have 75363, the N1 Starfighter Microfighter. Same thing, reasonable amount of time. Then we have the Ahsoka set here, the 75364, the 2-pack of the E-Wing and Shin Hati Starfighter. Another one, only about a year and 5 months, and might not have too many, sales on it, so I would definitely recommend picking it up. 75365, the Yavin 4 Rebel base. There's kind of that. I am kind of surprised. That's one of those where, again, it's, we've wanted it for, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. The execution, I don't think is perfect, but I'm surprised that, they're not going to kind of have that be like a lingering set for a couple more years, but yeah, there's that. Next up, we have 75368, basically all the mechs right here. We have the Darth Vader mech, the Boba Fett mech, the Stormtrooper mech. All of those are only making it about a year and a half. And then lastly, we have 75371, the buildable Chewbacca. That one right there, I don't think anyone is disappointed that it's retiring soon. So basically, I'm going to leave you guys with that. That is everything so far in the retirement list for this year. Of course, I will probably have quarterly updates. I'll have another one like in the spring, another one in the summer, and then another one towards the end of the year. And to kind of, keep on keeping you guys up to date with it. And, hopefully so you guys can plan your purchases accordingly. But any way you spin it, I mean, retiring 30 sets next year, or I guess this year, man, that's going to take some getting used to. Retiring 30 sets is pretty crazy. I mean, it makes me feel like maybe they have a lot of stuff coming out this year and a decent amount of stuff planned for 2025 if they're really trying to, clean slate. I mean, this is a lot of stuff, man. I mean, I think this year was, 24 sets, 23 sets, and this year is 30, so I mean, it's 7 more. All right, so I'll leave you guys all here. That is all for today's video. Leave a comment down below. Are there any sets on your wish list still that are retiring that you guys need to pick up? And if so, what is kind of your game plan? When are you going to wait? When are you going to buy it? And I would love to hear all that down below. Let's start the discussion. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys, and stay safe.